4 keys to personal and professional success. You may not think these are that important, but let me tell you, if you want to have a successful life and a successful professional life, these are very, very key. Empathy. If you have empathy for others, both in your social circle and at work, it means that you are going to relate to them in a much more deep way. It also means they will relate to you similarly. People who feel that they are understood and that they are cared about will always give more of their best than those who feel that they're taken for granted. Empathy is a very, very important quality. And sadly, it's something that's very lacking in today's world, especially with everybody so concerned with being on their screens and, looking in terms of social media and relating to people online rather than relating to them face to face. There is no substitute for face-to-face interaction in terms of really connecting with somebody. The second important point is gratitude. Wherever you are, whatever's happened to you, there are always things to be grateful for. And gratitude may seem like something that you just don't want to hear about when life's not going too well. When I was going through cancer and infidelity, maybe I didn't feel particularly grateful about my circumstances, but having gone through it, I'm very grateful for where I am now. I'm grateful for the life I have. I'm grateful that I'm living here and say not in Rwanda. And we all here, especially here in the United States, have a great deal to be grateful for. And when you are in your professional life, again, working with others, if you're having people help you, if you're a manager and you have people working for you, it makes a massive difference if you show gratitude for the work that they've done. It doesn't matter if it's the most stellar work that you've ever seen, but if somebody has made an effort, it's always helpful to show a degree of gratitude. And I have learned, actually, I had a very good teacher, I hate to say it, my ex-husband, who had a very difficult job saying please and thank you to people. He genuinely believed that if he did not genuinely think that somebody had made a big effort and that they deserved to be thanked, that if he said thank you, he was actually lying to them. That was his view. And I realized when I saw how people reacted towards him, that it was a massive negative in his work life. He did not get the best out of his employees. He did not get the best out of people he was trying to negotiate with. And when he was trying to develop and expand his business and make connections with others in similar fields, it didn't usually go as well as it would have done had he shown some kind of empathy and gratitude for those people for what they had achieved in their lives and for the time that they were devoting to connect. So those are important points. Accepting impermanence. This is again something that maybe you don't see too often as a key in terms of professional and personal success. Everything is impermanent, and even the slightest thing, you're going to have very, very slow changes going on. Everything is changing. Nothing is the same today as it was yesterday. The wonderful employees you may have had yesterday may not be available today. The amazing relationship you have with your partner may not be the same today. The health that you have now may not be there tomorrow. So what does that mean? That means that you have more reasonable expectations because you don't expect everything to last forever. And it also means that you have a degree of appreciation for what you have now, and that gives it more value. It gives it more value and maybe even makes it last longer. And if you accept impermanence, it also allows you to be less angry, less devastated when things do change, as they will. Life has ups and downs, everything changes. They go, something may be fantastic today, terrible tomorrow, but the next day it may be even better. You really don't know. So accepting impermanence is a very important step to being able to cope with adversity and use it as a catalyst to make your life better than before, because it makes you appreciate what you have, but it also makes you think about what you would do if that wasn't there anymore, or if things change. And the final thing, which is an unusual attitude, I think, to present to you, is to cultivate a feeling of neutrality about obstacles. We tend to feel very angry, very fearful about obstacles in our lives. We tend to obsess over them. We tend to get very worked up over them. And those emotions do not serve us. It's very hard to say you love obstacles. Nobody's going to love obstacles. Most of us really don't particularly like obstacles. But when you have negative emotions, hate even, towards the obstacles that life has given you, that will be even more of an obstacle necessarily probably than the actual setback you're facing. The trick is to try to cultivate a neutral attitude towards the obstacles that life has presented you with. Why did I get cancer? Why the hell would I have got cancer for the second time? Just when I was getting over the infidelity of my ex-husband, of my husband, he was still my husband at the time. Why would that have happened? And obsessing over that did not make me feel good. A better attitude would have been, well, this is just what has happened now, and I have to put one foot in front of the other and just carry on and do the necessary steps to get through it. Because obstacles do not happen to you because you're a bad person. Obstacles do not happen to you because the universe hates you. Obstacles happen just because they happen. Generally, I mean, sometimes you have contributed towards the setbacks you've had. Yep, you could have contributed. And if that's the case, it's a learning experience to try to do something to not do those things again in the future. But a neutral attitude will help you get through those obstacles and work at getting over them and using them to get something better than you had before. So I would say, try not to hate those obstacles. Try not to hate those setbacks. Try not to hate your ex-husband for his infidelity. Try not to hate the universe for giving you cancer. Those feelings do not help. Try to cultivate a neutral attitude and think, well, how can I get through this? What is the learning experience I am getting from this? Of course, if somebody would have told me when I was going through cancer that I was getting a lesson, I would probably have wanted to punch them in the face. But the fact is, even though it sounds like a horrible cliche and it's the last thing that I wanted to hear at the time, there are many lessons you can learn from obstacles. And most of the most successful and even happiest people are those who have had to work through obstacles to make their lives better than before. Because everything being hunky-dory, nothing changing, everything being more or less okay, then there's no incentive to make your life better. When you have obstacles, you have a hell of a lot of incentives